Hello students, today we are going to do the explanation of the sonnet Went to the Sessions of Sweet Silent Thought by William Shakespeare. I have already given you a critical analysis of the poem in the previous video. You can watch that so that you get an idea of Shakespeare as a sonneter and the poem as a whole. Now, I'll just repeat that Shakespeare was one of the greatest poet and the dramatist of the country, England, and he belonged to Stratford Avon, but he moved to London when he was a youth. Now, he established himself as a playwright, and then he went on to become a poet, a sonneter rather, and he has written 154 sonnets, out of which 126 are devoted to his friend W.H. The identity is not revealed, but we assume that it was his dear friend Earl of Southampton. And the rest sonnets are dedicated to a dark mistress. Dark mistress means an unknown mistress. Now, Shakespeare's sonnets describe two kind of love affairs. One, love towards his friend, and another love towards his opposite gender, that is the dark mistress. Now, this sonnet, Went to the Sessions of Sweet Silent Thought, it tells us about the poet's past grief, past losses, and he also says that though I have experienced all the losses and all the sorrows in the past, yet when I think of it in my present time, they bring about the sorrow with them, and I start crying and I start feeling sorrowful, and the intensity of the grief increases as if I am experiencing the sorrow in the present time. The mood of depression is there throughout the poem. The poem is divided into 3 quatrains and a couplet. So the 3 quatrains talk about the sorrow of the poet and the intense grief of the poet. And in the couplet, the poet says that this extreme grief and this sorrow, the tears which he was experiencing, they all are washed off, they all are cleared off. His grief, his misfortunes, and many things which he wanted but he did not get, his grievances, they are all forgotten when he thinks about his friend. And therefore he ends with a couplet where there is optimism. He says that all losses are restored and all sorrows end. So let's begin the poem. The poet begins with, Went to the sessions of sweet silent thought, I summon up remembrances of things past. I sigh the lack of many a thing I sought, and with old woes new wail my dear time's waste. Now, the poet says that whenever he is, sessions here means period, sweet silent, here sweet means his dear thoughts, silent means he is absolutely alone. So the poet says that whenever he is alone, he reflects on the past memories. He reminisces his past memories and experiences. He says, I summon up remembrances of things past. Summon means call, remember, relive the remembrances, the experiences of the things past. Past means in the past tense, in his previous life which he has lived. So now this is the general lamentation. He says that there were many things which he wanted. I sigh the lack of many things I wanted. I sigh means I feel sorrowful. My heart is filled with grief. My heart becomes heavy with sorrow when I remember that there were many things which I wanted but I did not get. Lack here means that he did not get. And with old woes, new wail my dear time's waste. So the woes are old, the sorrows are old, but there is new wail. New means present and wail means sorrow, tears. So he starts lamenting, he starts crying, he starts feeling sorrowful in the present. So in the summary of the first stanza, we can say that whenever the poet remembers his past memories, he actually remembers there were many things which he wanted, there were very wishes which he wanted, but they were not fulfilled, and therefore he used to feel sorrowful. He also says that in this way my old sorrows are renewed. And he says that although he is not used to shed tears, but yet he starts becoming, sorrowful when he remembers his past sorrows, and he sighs and mourns for all his losses suffered in the past. Let's move to the second quatrain. And then can I drown an eye unused to flow for precious friends hid in death's dateless night, and weep afresh love long since cancelled woe, and mourn the expense of many a vanished sight. Now the poet here poses a rhetorical question. He says, then can I drown an eye? So how the eyes are drowned? They are drowned, they are filled with tears. My eyes, my feelings, which are unused to flow. So he is not, he's not an emotional person. He normally do not cry very easily, but when he thinks of his past sorrows, his eyes are filled with tears. His eyes are filled with tears for precious friends. Precious here means for dear friends who have hid in death's dateless night. Hid means who have disappeared in the death's dateless night. So here we have an alliteration where there is a repetition of the sound d, d. Death's dateless. Dateless means endless, and night. Night here is a metaphor. It means darkness. So he says that he actually feels sorrowful for many things, and he feels sorrowful for his friends who are devoured by death in the past. They are never going to come back from their death. It is an endless darkness where they have disappeared and they will never come back to the light of life ever again. And weep afresh for love long since cancelled woe. Weep afresh. So he starts crying in the present for what? For love long since cancelled woe. Again, we have an alliteration with the repetition of the sound l. And he says that probably he used to love a lady, but she did not reciprocate his love. And therefore his love was left in the middle. It was not complete. Okay. So he says that I start feeling sorrowful for the love which I did not get from my beloved, and mourn the expense of many a vanished sight. And then I mourn, I start crying, I start feeling sorrowful for many a vanished sight. Now, vanished sight means scenes from his life, experiences from his life which are not now anymore. Vanish means they have disappeared. Probably his happy memories, his happy memories with his parents, his happy memory with his friends, his happy memory with his beloved. So now they are no more. The memories, he says that now these happiness, these happy scenes have vanished from my life. And therefore, he says that he mourns, he cries, he feels sorrowful for all these happy memories which have vanished from his life. Now let's come to the third quatrain. He says, then can I grieve at grievances foregone, and heavily from woe to woe tell over the sad account of fore moan, which I knew pay as if not paid before. And then can I grieve at grievances foregone? Again, we have a rhetorical question. The poet says, is it possible to feel sorrowful, grieve, cry, moan at grievances foregone, at the sorrows which I have foregone means I have experienced in my past. So how is it possible to feel sorrowful for those sorrows which you have already experienced in the past? And heavily from woe to woe tell over. Now the poet, when he starts remembering, reminiscing his sorrows, then, they go in a chronological order. From one sorrow to the other, from one sorrow to the other, he starts remembering all the sorrows of his life. So it becomes a continuous process. And the sad account of fore bemoaned moan. So now what he remembers is the sorrowful account. So here the account actually means two things. The account is the chronological order, as well as the account means the incidents which are linked with his sorrow. What were the causes of his sorrow? Of four bemoaned. For the sorrows for which he has already mourned in the past. Four means past, mourn means he's already cried. Mourn, he starts crying again. So, it appears to him as if he's paying a debt which he has not paid, which I heavily pay, like the sad account of four bemoan mourn, which I new pay. New pay means he pays in the present, as if not paid before. So here there is a metaphor where the sorrows are compared to debt, and he says that he pays his debt. That means he cries for his sorrows, he mourns for his sorrows, he grieves for his griefs, as if not paid before, as if he had not cried for them in the past. But if the while I think of thee, dear friend, all losses are restored and all sorrows end. But he says there is a major change from this grief to happiness when he remembers about his friend. His friend, he says that when I remember about my friend, when I think of you, thee means you, my dear friend, then he says there is a sudden change in the mood of thoughts. All the griefs, all the losses, all the lacks are restored, and all sorrows come to an end. All the sorrows are over, and I feel happy again. So just a thought of his friend can bring immense happiness in the life of his friend. This is the power of true friendship. Thank you.